What's up, movie lover badasses? Fat Samurai Guy here with Lady Fat Blood. Today we're going to review The Hateful Eight. Here's a quick plot synopsis. In the dead of a Wyoming winter, a bounty hunter and his prisoner find shelter in a cabin currently inhabited by a collection of nefarious characters. Now we're going to give you the good,
the bad,
and the badass. First up, the good. Another smashing I say, smashing film by Mr. Quentin Tarantino. The eighth movie by Mr. Quentin. Really enjoyed this film. We really had a good time with it. The performances in this movie, man.
Yeah, for a movie that almost didn't get made because the script got leaked, and then Tarantino was like, screw it, and then he was like, okay, well, screw it, I'll make it.
Yeah.
And then the damn thing got leaked out after it was done by a damn producer.
Yeah, good job. Thanks,
yeah,
dumbass.
Good job there. Yeah, it's a Tarantino movie. It's a Tarantino movie. You're going to get a well-made film. There's going to be quality involved. It's not going to shirk on anything. It's not going to be scrimping on the budget, on the actors, on anything. The sets, the look of the film. Everything was top-notch. It's Tarantino. You get exactly what you're expecting out of Tarantino at this point. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. And the cinematography, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Movie looks great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. You've got a whopping 3 sets of scenery. You've got the inside of a wagon. At one point, you actually go outside for maybe a couple minutes.
In the snow.
And then you're in a cabin. And
that's it. That's it. And the movie looks phenomenal. This movie reminded me of another beloved film that I enjoyed, 12 Angry Men. Basically, it was a bunch of characters in a room that had a lot of dialogue with each other. And that was the movie, and that was it. And it was phenomenal. Now, I wouldn't put it up there and say it's better than 12 Angry Men, but the film definitely intrigued me in a very similar way. But man, the performances, man. Samuel Jackson's on point. You know, Kurt Russell. Yes, Kurt Russell. Hey, go out and see Bone Tomahawk. See Bone Tomahawk. Watch our review of Bone Tomahawk first. We'll put it in the description below, okay? Put a link. But Kurt Russell, man. Come on back, Kurt. Look, you're awesome. Come on back. Welcome back.
He's Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah, we did hear about that in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Rumor of Kurt Russell being Star-Lord's dad, Chris Pratt's dad. I think that would be awesome. But it's great seeing him, and he's always on point.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel, let me know what you guys think, but I kind of feel that he's a phenomenal actor, but he's always kind of been underrated. Tim Roth is who I'm talking about right now. Kurt Russell, actually, you could put that in the same venue, too. I think Kurt Russell's a very underrated actor.
They both fall into that category of... You know who they are, but they've never really been of that box office draw that everyone's so obsessed with. But they always turn in solid performances, and they're always just on point.
Look at Tim Roth's performance in Reservoir Dogs. I mean, he is just... I've always been a fan of his work. I've always thought he just didn't really get the credit he deserves, as well as Kurt Russell, But he was great. That smile that he had on in the movie is just... He's just great. I mean, we don't want to go into spoilers. We're not going to ruin anything for you guys. But yeah, he's just great. Bruce Dern, the crafty veteran, is also very good in this film. I think they sat around, while making this movie, and they were like, we need a pissed off, old curmudgeon-y, old guy for this character. And it's like, hey, Bruce Dern. But two of our favorites, two of the standouts in our opinion, everybody does a great job, but two of our standouts are Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, just horrible, but hilarious at the same time. But actually everyone is horrible in this movie.
Yeah,
there's really no, that's why I think of the Hateful Eight. There's really no...
This is not...
Good old boy.
This is not the kind of movie that you go in looking for the person that you like.
Walton Goggins, man. Walton Goggins, that guy was awesome in this movie.
I was...
You wanted to hate the guy, but then his performance was so good.
It was, what it first started out as was, I was automatically drawn to Kurt Russell because it's Kurt Russell. Yeah. And I was interested in what his character was. And then in comes Samuel L. Jackson, and then he kind of steals the movie for a good portion of it. Yeah. And you're like, oh boy, it's turned into the Sam Jackson hour, which... I have no problem with that. Yeah. And Walton Goggins comes up and I'm like, oh, we've got our Dropo! Really irritating. Yeah. Kind of seemed like he was supposed to be the comic relief. And then he had this rapport with the Bruce Dern character, who was this horrible, crotchety, old fuck of a man. And it seemed like they were kind of going to be little buddy pals. And you're like, oh, he's just an idiot. And then after Sam Jackson had his big monologue, Walton came in and kind of equally stole the spotlight. And so it became the Walton-Sam variety act. And I had zero qualms with this. They both ended up being like the people that I was just like, oh, I could have watched this. I could see a sequel with this. If the cards were ever in place for that, if there was ever a draw for that, they really ended up kind of just shining in the movie. And we have a score by the legendary living legend Ennio Morricone.
The Italian John Williams.
Yes.
That's what we call him.
Quentin has been begging him to do a movie with him for years, but Ennio didn't like the way Quentin's scheduling was, and he just couldn't. He needed more time to focus on what he was doing. And finally, these two are able to come together, and it's a thing of beauty.
The score fits the movie. This was a great movie to see with a crowd. I'm just throwing it out there. The movie was already fun, but the crowd's reactions to everything was just more equally enjoyable. You know you're watching a Quentin Tarantino movie when you have the equal amount of gasps mixed at the same time with laughter. And it's just like, oh, the shock value, and then you're laughing your ass off, or you're like, oh shit, should I have been laughing at that? I don't know. That's when you know you're watching a Quentin Tarantino film. And now for the bad. Very similar to our Bone Tomahawk review. This is a very long film. It didn't really feel long to us, but for people expecting, for example, action western epicness like Tombstone, there's so many classic westerns back in the day. Okay, you got The Searchers, and we can go on and on and on. High Noon, okay? It's not just Tombstone, all right? As much as we love Tombstone.
Yeah.
But those, when people think of westerns nowadays, like you just said, they're like, oh, there's a new western coming out. Oh, Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Quentin Tarantino directed it. Oh, it's got to be just like Tombstone, and there's got to be tons and tons of action throughout the whole movie. No, there are more character-driven, character development westerns out there than there are action westerns, okay? That's the truth.
Yeah, and again, this is a Tarantino movie, and his movies are known for being extremely OTT when it comes to excessive brutality, excessive over-the-top violence in terms of blood. Kill Bill head spray comes to mind, but that was taken from actual Japanese cinema. You know, brutality in the vulgarity of how people speak to each other, the names people call to each other. Which I don't understand why people have an issue with this, because reality is so much worse. Things that go on in real life every single day are so much worse than what Tarantino puts on it. If anything, Tarantino forces you to see how absurd a lot of things are. And he makes it to where, yeah, horrible things are happening, but it's kind of comical in a really sick and twisted sort of way. But again, I would put forth to you, if you know Tarantino's reputation, and you know he's known for excessive violence and brutality, why would you continue to complain about him and just ignore him? Why don't you just ignore what he does? Don't go see his movies. Don't pick at his movies. People are going to see them whether you like it or not. It's like so many people, when they hear Tarantino's attached, some people lose their fucking minds. And just don't go see the movie. If you know you don't like Tarantino, peace out. You're getting exactly what you think you're going to be getting, and that also means an excessive runtime. I believe this movie's pushing 3 hours, and again, because of the dialogue and the storytelling aspect, this movie turns into a whodunit, who's gonna do it. And I was intrigued by that. I was intrigued by all the characters. And
the dialogue, the suspense between each other.
And therefore I was never bored, but much like Bone Tomahawk, much like The Revenant, I can see a lot of people just, even if you don't care about Quentin Tarantino's reputation as a director, I can see a lot of people just being like...
Which is kind of sad. Because in a cool, kick-ass way, just like 12 Angry Men, this is like a stage play on film.
Yeah.
Even though we enjoyed this movie, all right, there was one element that showed up later, and this is not a spoiler, okay, but Channing Tatum shows up later in the film. Now, regardless if you're a fan of him or not, that's not the point. For some reason, when he shows up in the movie, it kind of put me off of the film a little bit, because I felt like Channing Tatum was playing cowboy and he was in a Western spoof of sort. He did not fit.
Channing Tatum, he
just didn't fit.
He is America's Jai Courtney. In that I cannot for the life of me understand why Channing Tatum is a thing. He does nothing for me in terms of performance.
He's got abs.
I don't give a shit about his goddamn abs. I'm not watching him for his abs, alright?
He can dance.
I just don't understand the appeal. And that's just me. Yeah. Clearly, I am in the minority here, but when he shows up, thank God he was not in the movie very long.
Thank God.
He was outclassed by Michael drunk off his ass Madsen.
Oh,
okay?
Man.
He was like a kindergartner showing up at a Yale lecture, okay? He does not have that presence that all of these other people had. But fortunately, under Tarantino's writing and directing, and the fact that his appearance was very brief.
Thank God.
It did not detract in the end. At first, it was like when I saw his name on the credits, I was like, "Oh, fuck!"
We were like,
and then he showed up, and I'm like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
But luckily, it worked out.
It was harmless.
But again, he's just one of those actors where I am constantly asking, how is he a thing? How is he a big deal in Hollywood right now? But somehow he's a draw. And obviously, it's me. Obviously, I don't see it.
Abs. Now for the badass. There is no action in this movie. But all I will say without spoiling anything, when the shit finally hits the fucking fan, woo! Okay? Yeah. Yes, it's crazy. Crazy shit abounds.
And it is gloriously over the top, as you would expect in Tarantino fashion. That's what he does. And top-notch effects. Top-notch practical effects. Just a comical, almost a Warner Brothers-ish amount of violence that is inflicted on these people. It's ridiculous, and I fucking love it. So bottom line, it's Tarantino. If you've seen his stuff in the past and you didn't like it or you hated it, don't bother. If you've seen his stuff in the past and you liked it, or you really, really liked it and you loved it, you're set. He doesn't really fluctuate as a director, and I don't think he needs to at this point. He has a very distinct style, and he makes a similar set. His films seem to be like the same style over and over and over, but it's just a different story each time, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So, great performances, good cinematography, interesting story.
So we give The Hateful Eight 4 out of 5 stars. If you've seen The Hateful Eight, let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.